Okay, here's some things we got to get to, and I want to handle them right off because we got Chad Cater. Do not bring him in yet, Maria. Just let me finish saying it, and then we'll bring him in. But Chad Cater had commented, and the only way I get it is when Melissa tells me what's on there. And I had a good conversation with Chad the other day, and actually appreciate it. But he was evidently telling her that I was wrong about calling Neely crazy, and I stand by that. I'm not a doctor, but whenever you're found naked in a car, you're on drugs and alcohol. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe he can explain that. Whenever you go into a school,
I don't know which one he is. I'm assuming it's because it doesn't have, not all of them. I'll try this one. Is this him? Where is he? Where'd he go? All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Who are you? Yeah. Can you just identify yourself so we know who you are?
This is Chad.
Okay. Randy, no, Chad is on.
Hey, Randy. No, I was. What was that?
You said to bring Chad on.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Okay, Chad. I had a really good conversation with you, but I stand by the fact that I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing the girl, but what she's done is crazy. And I can prove it biblically, too, that it's okay to judge that. I know you're a spiritual man.
Actually, I wasn't referencing Neely. It was what you had stated about her mother.
Yes, and I'm telling you what an attorney told me. That's what I'm telling you. And she ran over a social worker in Moncks Corner, South Carolina during a DSS case. Do you think that's crazy, or is it just violent, homicidal maniac? Because I didn't want to call her a violent, homicidal maniac because that's really attempted vehicular homicide. So I didn't want to get her into that, but I went with crazy.
If you remember our conversation, which was about 2 hours long, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We discussed certain things about what you would protect. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I've protected my child no matter what, and I never ran over a social worker. I hope you didn't, or I hope you're not.
No. I won. I'm just making the point.
Did you run over anybody during your case? Can I ask you something, Chad? Did you run over anybody, kidnap anybody, or in any other way commit murder or mayhem during your case in order to win?
Randy, if you know you invited me on here, so if you want to let me speak, I'll gladly do that. If you just want to control the conversation, then I'm not going to be on.
No, I think the best thing to do is let you speak until everybody can see your point.
Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to be combative here. I just didn't fully agree. And I don't know the full situation, but at the same token, I had a very long conversation with Neely's mother, and I'm not standing up for anything right or wrong because I don't know the full details. But, you know, in our conversation with what you just stated and, you know, you standing up for your daughter, you know, the full acknowledgement or facts of what actually happened should be out there before you state somebody's crazy or nuts or however. You know, again, I mean, I respect what you're doing. The truth needs to be out there, but there's just so much of this hearsay stuff and then condemning people. And it's like, you know, we have a mother, you know, you're a father, you do what you would for your offspring. And that's a part that bothers me throughout many of these shows, or I don't know if you want to call them a show or if it's news, but there's a big difference between the two. And, you know, it's like people got to just care about each other and respect each other. And, you know, even if somebody's crazy, it doesn't mean you can't love them or, you know, just want what's right. But, you know, that's what bothered me. And that's all I wanted to say. It was like, lay the proof out there of why she's nuts. You know, in my long conversation with Neely's mother, I did not get that at all. I heard a concerned mother. You know, when you were talking about your daughter, I heard a concerned father. You know, I'm nobody to any of you, but you're my fellow men and women. I'm concerned about all of you. I want nobody to harm anybody else. But you know what? Even if, like I posted, if I see something and I know the facts of it, if somebody's trying to harm your daughter, Randy, and I don't even know her, I will put my life on the line for her. And you know I don't know. There's just so much of this stuff out there that is just causing more division and issues. And you know, I'm done.
Well,
Okay, well, here's what I was going to say is you're implying that we're not proving with facts what we're saying. That's your implication. That's straight up. Can you tell me what it is other than, and I just told you, we haven't even put all the facts out there about the Monk's Corner, her mother trying to run over people, and the numerous, let me just ask you this. If we were to produce, you saw one court order where a judge went over and over and over and over the fact that Neely's mother, nor Neely, can be around Neely's 12-year-old child. Does that mean anything in the form of fact or evidence at all?
In reference to your claim, no, it really doesn't to me. You made the claim. I guess in our conversation, I mean, you admitted how corrupt the courts are and everything.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
They absolutely are. They are absolutely corrupt. But does that mean that every single case and every single judge and every single attorney and every single outcome are also corrupt? Every single one? That they never get it right? Did you win?
No.
Wait a minute. Did you win?
Did I win what?
You said you won your case.
What case? What? I don't even know what you're referencing.
I thought earlier you said you won. Maybe I misheard you when you said you won.
Yeah, I don't remember saying that. If somebody can show that to me, I'd love to.
No, I know. I'm simply saying I thought I just heard you say you won your case. Did you lose your case?
I don't even know what case you're referencing, Randy.
I don't know. I don't know if you had a case. That's what I'm asking you, Chad, because I don't know. I never talked about anything or whether you had a case or didn't have a case.
Yeah, but Randy, you're making the claim that I stated I won my case, but you don't even know what the case is, and I don't either.
Chad, most reasonable people here are hearing me say, I thought I heard you say this. I'm not accusing you. I'm asking you, did you have a case or not? I thought I heard you say it. Either you did or you didn't.
How about if the reasonable people you're talking about can show in the comments or something where I said
nobody is trying to. Chad, are you retarded? Honestly, people don't like that word, but I'm telling you, it's like you've hit yourself in the damn head. I'm telling you, I thought I heard you say it. Randy? I don't care what you got to say. You know what? I think that I think you're just as crazy as the rest of them. I'm sitting here going over what I thought I heard you say and asking you, and you're showing the proof in the comment. I'm not going to show you a damn thing because I'm not accusing you. I'm asking you a question. Either you had a case or you didn't, you idiot. And if you did and you won, like I thought I heard you say, then I'm asking you, why wasn't that a corrupt case too? Why wasn't it somebody trafficking children because you won? Dude, if you can't be man to man and talk, the way we had a conversation the other day, and then I ask you something, then I'm not going to take anybody's shit. And I think Neely's crazy, and I think we have enough information to show that her mother ran over a damn social worker. And if you or anybody else out there in DSS land and advocate land, if you If it was your daughter she ran over as a DSS worker, would she be crazy then,
As
Chad?
soon as
This
you're
is the
done, are you going to cut
hypocrisy.
me off like David
That's
Jose or
I'm not
somebody else
cutting
does?
you off. I'm not cutting your ass
Okay.
off. I'm telling you,
Okay,
it is
great. Then
assholes like you that come in with your little amiable ass self, and you want to tell people we have to love, we have to get along. No, my Bible, my scripture says this: know those that labor amongst you, and separate yourself from those that would bullshit you. And that's what you're doing, dude. If you can't tell, if you're going to stand there and tell me you'd let your grandkid ride around with Neely's mother after she ran over a damn social worker, then you're stupid and part of the problem. If we don't start to police the opportunity that we have in the movement and do it ourselves, that's why people like Howard, that's why people like Francesca, people like Jose, people like fucking E-Claus and Kirk, that's why people sit and kiss their ass and watch their shows and welcome their friends to come in there and make them look like, oh, they're safe to come in. It's people like you pacifist asshole, that want these people to come in, and you lure your people in there to a damn snare where they behead them and they end up in jail. You know what? You can holler all you want to. Dude, you can yell about all the bullshit. It ain't a real court and ain't a real judge. But you know what? Neely's in a real turtle suit in a real damn cell, and she's eating real fucking peanut butter, dude. Don't fuck with me, Chad.
Chad,
What? Don't no rest of y'all say a goddamn word. I'm tired of every one of you talking over me. If I wanted you to, I will key it the fuck up.
You talked over all of us.
No, I haven't. I've talked over you.
You're no different than Chris and Kirk and David when I called them out on their prod.
Fucking let me tell you something. You know what? You're a nutless fucking wonder that can't accept a challenge or a fucking question from a man. And
I am. That's why I'm on this call.
Said, you stupid
I'm on this call. You invited me on. You invited me on, but now
because you were
me
accusing me of somehow fucking calling a crazy motherfucker before I just told you I don't even think we're going to put all the evidence out there because it's a waste of time. We'll just put it on the Watchmen. But for your fucking pleasure,
you're showing your colors, Sandy. You're showing your colors.
Psych evaluation somewhere where both these motherfuckers are insane. If you don't think they need some Sarah it's because you're taking yours.
Chad, we have the attorney of record here. And Karen, if you don't care, would you address that?
Okay, first of all, I'm not the attorney of record. That's not me.
Run over social worker, please.
That's not me. The only thing I can do to this, and I think the question was this, to this guest, I think the question was, have you won your case or do you have a case?
Yes.
Can I interject, being it relates to me?
No, I think that's a yes, no question. The question was, do you have a case and have you won a case? What's your, and basically, I guess my question is, what's your relevance?
Well, my relevance was that I questioned Randy being able to call Neely's mother crazy.
Okay, well, he has that opinion, and he has a right to that opinion.
And and I completely agree with you. But I was just wondering, that's still, you know what, you said you're an attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that's making a claim, correct?
But she's allowed to her own opinion also.
Okay, he is allowed to his opinion.
I'm asking her professional opinion as an attorney. If somebody states that somebody is crazy and
hey, wait, let me answer.
I don't think let me answer. The right frame of mind to do that if it did happen. So, but can we move on with this?
Yes, we certainly can move on. And the point is this. Anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can have an opinion. You can ask me my professional opinion. My professional opinion, after reading all the documents in every case that Neely has been involved in, my professional opinion is I have questions as to why her mother would have custody of any of these children, because it looks like to me, this is my professional opinion, after reading the court documents, it seems to me that the only way that would have occurred is if two jurisdictions aren't communicating with one another.
Mm-hmm. I think that's occurring. I don't think that Kentucky actually has all the information that South Carolina has.
And in
it's
fact, that was an issue with what was going on in South Carolina and in Florida. There was CPS involvement in Florida. There was a lot of violence going on in Florida, and it's in the court record and in that court order, which will be shown, and it will show that Susan Blanchard hid a lot of the assaults that were taking place on her. She hid the fact that there was CPS involvement. There was all kinds of stuff going on in Florida that they were trying to hide from South Carolina, but it thankfully was discovered. But there was also some behaviors of Susan Blanchard that affected her. One of the reasons why she was not permitted to have any contact with her grandchild at all, because of the things that were going on, and that's all in the court order.
Okay, so can I speak up again?
Well,
yeah.
Well, that's basically what I was asking for. If you look back and what happened here,
Right,
you know,
and I think, and not to,
validation.
but we're on kind of a time restraint, and I think the only thing Randy said to you was he's not going to show that. He's going to post it on the Watchman website.
Okay, and I all I remember is him blowing up at me. Say, Karen, could I get your bar number?
It's in Alabama. You can look it up.
Alabama. Okay, and that's what's your last name? Karen
Yes,
Malerna?
you might want to call Fran, and you might want to call. Well, you can ask Chris, and you can ask Pendergrass. Maybe they have it all. How it was supposed to quote unquote take me down.
So you're involved with Kirk Pendergrass?
No, I'm not involved with any of them.
No,
well, you brought him up. That's why I asked.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I made a comment on social media back in 2018 against Francesca Amato Banfield. I asked her why she was interviewing children on social media, and my life hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, no, and I don't blame you if you get involved with those kind of people. You know, that doesn't surprise me at all. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't get involved when you stand up for children and you speak out against this kind of nonsense. I do not have one regret for speaking out. I hope that there was one person that heard my voice and is hearing my voice tonight say, stay away from these people.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And, you know, I just brought up something that I questioned. Somebody made a claim, which you didn't deny. And everybody can have their opinion, but it was, you know, an opinion can still be a claim. And actually,
An opinion is not a claim.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. The last thing let me finish. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. As an attorney, you should know this. You know, you let other people speak. Okay, and this is all I want to say, and I won't say another word. But what happened here tonight with me, now you're doing it again. Can I finish?
No, you said you weren't going to say another word, so I said, do you promise?
Yeah, no, well, another statement, and it won't take very long.
Is this a statement or a claim or your opinion? Do you want to preface that? I'm not going to sit here and answer all your questions. I just want to say something. Can I do that? Then Maria, mute him and let's move on.
See, there you go. Right there, you got it. Bye.
No, bye. Okay, move on. Go ahead.
He was very argumentative. I mean,
well, I mean, I don't have time for that nonsense. I mean,
I don't have time for your bullshit either.
Well, okay, what do you have?
I got treated the same way by you guys that I did by Kirk Pendergrass, David Strait, and all that, just by trying to bring up verification.
What type
You're no different than them.
Your verification was already given.
A question, a direct question. You didn't want to answer it. You know, you throw in all this other stuff.
Ask him a direct question. What case? What case do you want to talk about? Okay, I have multiple traffic cases I've gotten out of. Okay, I've done that.
Okay, well,
I don't know what case he's talking about.
How'd you get out of those? How'd you get out of those?
Yeah, explain that.
The traffic tickets?
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure. I did a debt validation, and I also did
You did a
territorial
debt
jurisdiction.
validation.
You're
Okay,
talking
you're a
traffic
sovereign
tickets.
citizen.
I
Mute
thought
him,
you were
please.
trafficking
Mute
children.
him,
Did-
please.
My
define
bad.
those things.
Mute him, please. Is Randy still here?
Either
He
way,
used
I
a
got
debt
out of it. I can
validation.
prove it.
He
Or
used
you
a
can call me a sovereign
Then go
citizen all
on
you
your own
want.
show and prove it.
I didn't call you anything, okay?
He's
I called
muted.
you a sovereign citizen. If you're using a debt validation on a traffic citation, you are a sovereign citizen. That is sovereign citizen thought processes.
So
That
what
is
is your
sovereign
relevancy
citizen
in this?
ideology.
Like Karen said, what is your relevancy in this, chat?
I muted him. Karen asked to mute him, so I muted
Thank
him.
God.
Can we have
Okay,
Randy
can
back
we move
now?
on?
No, he's not back yet. He's not back yet.
I'm waiting
No.
for the where are they
Okay.
now?
Can we proceed with some of the evidence that you have,
Yes.
Maria?
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Karen, please.
Yeah, let me pull up some other stuff and some
Okay.
other evidence that I had.
And Karen,
Uh,
I thought he was actually, I'm laughing. I thought he was actually going to ask me for my oath.
well,
Okay. I can't with these people.
and that's how they
Okay.
can be. They're very argumentative when
Yes. And then they want to know why you
put
cut
out
them off.
there
Because
what
just
they
like
want to do.
in a courtroom, they get cut off because they start making no sense. None.
Yeah, these far-fetched statements.
hang on, I'm checking to make sure Randy
And,
hasn't.
You know, I mean, really, okay. It's if he wants all the evidence of it, we can dig a little harder. We can actually put it out there that she ran over a social worker, you know, or
Well, and I'd like to say I was watching comments and I saw her comments and see, this is where he doesn't understand. This is her opinion. There are two sides to this. Her opinion, she was saying you've got an attorney that is corrupt and this, that. Where's her evidence? Go on your own page and post the evidence. That's not what this is about.
That's right. That's exactly right. Where's their evidence? They have it. So who do we have here? Carmen.
Yeah, she's not saying anything though. I mean, hang on,
Okay,
I'm
and
looking
let
at
me
this.
say something about. Okay,
That's okay.
QAnons are dangerous. Sovereign citizens are dangerous. You can hear the words right off the bat when they start talking. This isn't rocket science. And, you know, I'm just not going to entertain these people.
Yeah. No, I'm not either. And
I mean, if they don't understand, there's a man that's been murdered over these
Right.
beliefs.
yes. And
If that's not enough for these people, I don't know what else to tell them.
right.
Let
And
me check to see.
Randy, you know, he kind of blew up there, but I really don't blame him. I mean, he's invited all these people on, and when they
Right.
come on, you ask them a direct question, and they want to go into all this other far-fetched crap and ask questions back. It reminds me of Nicole Nogler. Actually,
Yeah.
when you ask her a direct question, she throws a question right back in your face.
Yeah.
And that's
Instead of him
classic
asking
of
what
the
case, he should
sovereign
have just said,
citizen.
no, I do not have a case.
Right, because they don't know what they're talking about. And
Well,
right
what did I say? I don't mean to interrupt you, but what did I say at the beginning of this? It was they normally are in traffic court.
Yeah.
But then you hear UCC, you hear debt validation, you hear all these things in another realm of the law. They're going down a sovereign citizen path.
Yeah.
All right. This here is the complaint that was filed with Neely filing a false child abuse report.
Okay.
And I have the evidence that was presented, which was basically Neely paid somebody. I don't know what she paid him with, but this was the handwritten, and they called it in and said this word for word. This evidence will be uploaded on the Watchman for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And basically it was accusing him of being very violent with this child, whoever it was. Stop ripping her out of a car and just, you know, and somebody just standing there watching him and not doing anything about it, and they wanted to keep it anonymous. And you know, I mean, and here we are, and this was concerning her child. So I mean, here you have. Were you able to see that? Did I share that? I don't know if it popped up or not. Hello?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
muted myself while you were talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was kind of waiting for Randy to come back in.
Well, until he does, I don't
know. He may have lost signal. I know I've got a storm coming through here.
Yeah.
And it seems like my electric has flickered once or twice also. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll be on back in a minute. But so what's some of the other
Well,
stuff
that's
that
really, I mean, most of the other stuff is stuff that he dealt with, with
that. I mean, that's child abuse right there, right?
Right. And then we have and this, hang on, there's actually, I have what's let me see if I can find it. It's a complaint that was filed, or let me see if I can find it. It's a report or a criminal case where Neely beat her mother up with a suitcase.
What?
Hit her in the head with a suitcase. Yeah. Let me see if I can find that for you. The problem is this won't let me minimize. So evidence.
So what we have here is the mother being beaten up by Neely, and then the mother is in defense of Neely and running over social workers. This thing gets crazy when you think about all the stuff that's going on here.
Yeah, here it is here.
Wow. Okay, can you read that? What's the dates on this?
At approximately Neely Blanchard, on or about the 7th day of October, did actually and intentionally touch or strike her mother against her will. To wit, Neely Blanchard struck her mother in the head with a suitcase, knocked her to the ground, and repeatedly banged her head into the floor. And that she also held her against her will. It says here that they, without lawful authority, did then and there forcibly, by threat, or secretly confine, abduct, imprison, or restrain another person, to wit, her mother, against her will, with the intent to commit battery. Neely Blanchard repeatedly blocked her mother from leaving the residence by standing in the doorway and not letting her pass.
So we have domestic violence going on in this family also.
And the thing is that one of the things that's a pattern is, and it's not stated in the record, but that was in the custody agreement that you'll see, is that Neely's bouts of violence and a lot of domestic violence, they call it domestic, minor children were present. That's what's in the order. And a lot of this
is that on the twins? I mean, what's the date on that?
I have to pull it back up. Hold on. 2013.
Okay, so that's on the oldest child.
No, that was, I don't know if it was in Florida. It was with the mother. I don't know where the oldest child was.
Oh, okay.
It's 2013. So I'm assuming that the child was with in South Carolina, because that was 2013. But she also has her 7-year-old twins.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they were babies. I don't know if that incident, they may not have been present, but I mean, but it just goes to show you that there's a problem in the dynamics with this family. And I understand that people say, oh, you'll defend and protect your children. Well, there's a limit to what you'll do for your children. When is it become, I mean, obviously she has custody of her grandchildren. Why does she have custody of her grandchildren? Obviously because her mother wasn't capable, but it seems like her mother enables her a little too often. And that's what we saw with the South Carolina case, that she enabled her quite a bit. But
Yeah.
really what it comes down to again is the fact that, you had all of these piranhas taking advantage of a woman who is just very fragile. She's not in the right state of mind. She's struggling. And every one of them used Neely in one way or another.
Well, and Maria, I want to say this: Neely was not the only one.
I know.
You've got Baller. Okay, we can look at Arlena Wills. Arlena Wills started down that track and still is with David Strait. With if everybody remembers, Francesca Amata Banfield was on the Facebook Live with her when the FBI was outside her house serving that warrant.
Yes.
These people prey on
you have
people
Cynthia.
that it is apparent it doesn't look like they can make good decisions for themselves.
And and here's the other thing,
the sick part to me.
And here's the other thing. Chris Hallett, obviously, if his stuff was working, he would not have 3 women tied to him kidnapping their children. You've got Cynthia Abtug or Stug or whatever. Neely kidnapped her children, and then you had Emily Jolly that had ties to him in some form or another.
And then you've got, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I saw Liz in the comments saying he encouraged her to kidnap her children. Thank God she didn't.
No, thank God. Thank God. I mean, but if these methods worked, or these theories, these children, these mothers wouldn't have to go to such desperate measures and be on the run and kidnap their kids. And, and now he's doing this thing where he's filing remonstrances in legislation. I'm trying to figure out how legislation is going to get kids back, because they don't have any jurisdiction over the judicial. That's why there's, how is, Karen, can you explain how they could even remotely think that legislation is going to get these kids back? The only thing is if they pass a law and say that all the children have to be returned. I mean, are they going to just do one law just to have a child returned?
That's the thought process. It's the word salad. It's nothing makes sense. Nothing they do makes sense. They take legal terms, throw them out, they try to see what sticks, and it is all a bunch of garbage.
All of these parents are depending on these legal.
They all do it as a scam. It's a scam.
And I don't understand why they're doing it. I mean, I've not heard of, massive amounts of money. I don't know if he's been paid to do this with Neely. She's definitely a great promoter. There was word that Cindy Absug paid $5,000 when she was on the run. She went down there and he gave her a bunch of paperwork that he drew up or whatever, and they gave her $5,000 for that, or gave him. But it's like these people,
they're doing it because they're sick, and a lot of it's a con game, and they don't care about the children. There are some of these people that believe it and are completely and totally insane. Then there are some aspects of it, in my opinion, some of these players are the con people. And if you watch it long enough, you can tell which ones actually believe what they're spewing and which ones are the con side of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, what worries me, in the beginning, I kept saying somebody's going to get killed, but I never thought it would be one, Alec. Although, as I mentioned, I always thought that woman from Pakistan was going to kill Fran because she kept making threats to kill Fran. I really thought that she was going to try, but I always thought that it was going to be that the road they were leading these parents down, a parent was going to kill themselves, or they were going to kill a judge, a social worker, a lawyer,
Well, you,
or even
Maria,
or
you
a
do
police
have that.
officer.
You
Huh?
have that in one of these players. In one of these players, you have the Lotus Justice who shot 2 police officers,
Yeah.
who was right there on that couch in Georgia with the rest of them, who now has shot 2 law enforcement officers.
That's true. I mean,
Advocates.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they did. I mean, we did. We had 2 police officers, but I was thinking more in you're true, because she was involved. I think it had to do with her girlfriend or her wife's child that they were fighting for. So, but
Yes, and you notice the theme. The theme is they all have the same quote unquote plan. They come out and they use catchwords: we the people, the Constitution, patriots, Trump. All of these things are catchwords that they use to draw people in.
yeah, like the pedophile task force, and that they were part of that, and
Yes,
there
and
was no
child
pedophile.
trafficking. And that goes to the QAnons. And then you've got those conspiracies. Then you've got the sovereign citizens. It's like they came together with a perfect storm and got into the family rights movement. And this is the result. And if you look at where are they now, you can see nothing good has come from it. Nothing good. But what it has done, it has stopped legislators and many political avenues that we could do to change a system that needs to be changed. They won't even touch this anymore because they have to vet. Now they have to vet everybody that walks through their door that starts talking to them, because social media has caused such a storm of total lies, total nonsense, that it's put everything on the back burner.
If anything, in all honesty, I feel like everybody should take a look at this situation and learn from it. As an advocate, you need to, and if you remember, Karen, a long time ago, I said, if you're going to be advocating with a parent, you need to be prepared for all that comes with it. And that includes the psychological, because these parents are beat up in the courts, one way or another. And also they need to be, on the other aspect of it is, if you don't know what you're doing and you're messing with these parents, their children are at stake and they're desperate and they'll go to any measures. And Neely said it, according to the report, she said, quote unquote, "You're hurting my kids, you bastard." So it wasn't even about her. It was about her children to her. Because in the end, it's the children that are hurt the most.
Yes, and everything they're doing is not doing anything but hurting children when they're using it under the guise to save children or protect children. And what you have is a whole scheme of nonsense that holds itself out to the public or to social media to save the children. They use, words like child trafficking, this, that, the most outrageous terms, when these people have no clue what really goes on in the real world. They have no clue. None of these people are counter traffickers. None of these people are working for Trump. None of these people have the ability to do anything except exactly what they're doing, sitting on social media, making an uproar and getting desperate people that have children in the tizzy and going down a path that they can never return from in most cases that we've seen.
Well, I just pray that the parents wake up and realize Neely probably recognized that she had been on a wild goose chase for years, and she's probably snapped, if that's the case,
Well, and
I
I wouldn't speculate on that because I don't know. And again, it's an active law enforcement investigation,
Right.
and things will continue to come out. You know, but did we see someone that is probably not in the best mental state being preyed upon by these vultures? Absolutely.
She wanted to believe them. She was such a big champion. I think deep down in her heart, she truly believed them. She relied on them. She counted on them. She believed in them.
Well, yeah, and I
And
think
she
everybody.
still believes it. I mean, you heard the statement she made, that the police made. She asked them what authority they had to hold her, to detain her. She still believes what she was taught.
No, I understand that, and it will be a long time. It's almost a cult mentality. It will be a long time before, even if ever, she would actually understand.
Would you say that this is a form of brainwashing?
I think sovereign citizens, I think that's, it's an ideology like anything else. If you're told something long enough and you're that desperate, you're going to believe in it.
Do you think she'll ever come back from it? Do they ever come back from it?
I have no idea. I mean, and I can't speculate, and I have no idea what her motive or what her mind, no, nor does anyone else. It's all speculation.
All right.
But the facts of the matter are this. If this doesn't wake people up to realize that this is garbage, that there is no reason for a parent that is involved in a family court case or a CPS case or any other case for that matter, even a traffic case, should not be sitting and listening to the likes of someone like Kirk's Law Corner, E-Clause. Because let me tell you something, people, if it worked, everybody would be doing it.
If it worked, they'd be advertising all the families that have been brought home, all these kids. You don't see them.
No, but what they do is they think that people don't watch. But when you watch it long enough, like we have, like you can go to like David Jose's page, for instance. It's like they think people forget. I mean, and you can go out and prove them wrong. I know that several people on social media have. David Jose never got his kids back. David Jose has not brought all these children home. But every now and again, he'll start reposting the same narrative, pushing the same narrative out. And that's what they do. It's always like Randy says, the next shiny thing.
Yeah.
And then they regurgitate it back and it goes back through the wash and they start all over again. From affidavits to remonstrance to, we even saw the love gifts. And you have to understand the emotional aspect of it. These are emotional issues. It's not like a traffic ticket. It's not even like an eviction. You can't even compare the two. You're talking about someone's children. And so when you get someone so emotionally wound up and believing in something, it's sad. When what they've done is they spent all this time and invested all this time in this nonsense when they could have been working themselves to better themselves, to do what they needed to do to get their children home. If you don't like the system, there are problems in the system. There are problems with the department. There are problems with the courts. But when your children are in it and your family's in it, is not the time for you to be exploring all these different new, bright, shiny things. You do the work you need to do to bring your family back together.
I agree. This is not the time to practice unproven theories,
And it
you
doesn't matter
know.
if it's a sovereign citizen or if it's some other type of legal theory. You have to trust the people that you're with, and and they spew nonsense about, don't trust this person, don't trust that person. Find the person you do trust, that is licensed, that knows what they're doing. And it is your right. You can look for that person. You find that person and you do the work you are required to do to get your children home.
Yeah.
Because
And
it
that's
happens,
something.
people. It happens. Nobody's kidnapping children and keeping them away from parents that are actually doing the work that they need to do to get their children home. It might not be fast enough. It might not, for them, it might not be as quick as they want it to be, but you're on a much better ground if you're doing the things you're supposed to do. And it doesn't feel like, if the department's telling you this and you don't think you should have to, that's not the time for you to argue. If a judge tells you to get your case off social media, get your case off social media. Fight that fight later.
Yeah, that's one of Randy's biggest things, is he's always telling people to stay quiet, keep your stuff off of Facebook. You know, everybody,
I'm a
even
big
when they say,
proponent.
oh, we have rights, and he'll tell you, you know what? Yeah, you have rights, but right now, what's more important, your rights or your kids? Your kids are your priority.
Yes, and I
Stay
want people to
quiet,
think
work your
about this.
case.
I
Yeah.
want people to think about this with that, because, posting things on social media about your case, the reason the courts say not to, because they cannot monitor. And you might think that something you're posting is nothing, it's not going to hurt anything, it's not going to do anything. So the general rule is, do not talk about your case. Do not post your case on social media. Believe it or not, there are children that are involved, and that stuff does not go away. And that's the reason for it. They are trying to protect these children from having this out in internet land for the rest of their lives. Juvenile cases are sealed for a reason. And it's because they deserve not to have their business as a minor child all over the place. And they can't monitor it. It could be a child sexual abuse issue. I mean, you don't want to put it out. So the general rule is, don't do it. And judges don't like it, and they don't like it for a reason, because there's no purpose in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if Randy's able to get back on. So, and he's
Well, we
not
can
here to go
end
over
with,
the rest.
well, you can end with, you just go through, where are they now? You can tell them, where are they now?
Well,
Where are
that
these
was
people now?
the problem is he knows all the players. I don't know all the players.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know who all those people are, but I can tell you, where are they now in general? Look at Fran. She lost custody of her child. She was the big advocate, arrest a judge, the affidavit, what was the other one? The immunity. I mean, she was shining one, dangling one shiny new thing after another. She
Arbitration.
was also using Hallett as her, she kept always talking about the federal attorneys. Well, lo and behold, Hallett was one of those federal attorneys.
Right.
You know, then you look at, what is it? Arlena Wells, she's looking at 40 some years in prison. You have, unfortunately, you see where Neely's at. Cynthia Apcock, she's got her kidnapping charges and everything. Lotus Justice, look where she's at. She was, shot 2 police officers and had tear gas shot into her house. I mean, who else is there? I mean, there's a whole list of them. There's a whole gamut of them.
Right. Right.
And they've all followed this crazy ideology, and they've got nowhere except the inside of a prison cell, losing their kids, or unfortunately, in Hallett's case, death.
Right. Now we've got death.
Is that where you guys want to end up? I know if my daughter had this situation, or any of my kids, I would definitely not want them to see the inside of a jail cell or be dead or kill someone. This stuff that they're using doesn't work. It will never work. They're using, what is it, the common law. Like, well, we're supposed to go back to the 1800s when we've amended these laws and changed the laws. They no longer apply to us. Old English. I mean, they talk about the crown. Dude, why are you talking about the crown? It's no longer got anything to do with us. Old English law doesn't work. It's not a part of our nation anymore. We separated from England. Stop playing with all that. And in addition to that, these sovereigns, they misquote the laws. They you know, when they're doing all of their pleadings, they don't, none of their stuff works. And there's a reason why, because it's all flawed, every bit of it. If you want your kids back, do what your lawyers tell you to do. Work with your attorneys, work with the social workers, work with, you know, whoever you need to work with to get your kids back. Not all this crazy stuff with a bunch of people that are claiming to be lawyers and legal experts, but yet they can't even walk into a courtroom with you and fight your case. Oh, here's your pleadings, but guess what? I know what to do with them, but you're going to have to figure it out and fight it out for yourself against a lawyer who has gone to college and, you know, did everything they needed to do to be a lawyer. Argue it against a lawyer and to a judge. And then you're going to expect to win your case? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. You're talking years and years and years of education and training for them to walk into a courtroom and fight your case. You think you could do better than that? You think these quacks can do better than that? No. They don't even walk into a courtroom in most cases. Hal, might have been on a Zoom with Neely, but probably as an advocate, because he can't represent her as an attorney. And look, she still doesn't have her kids back. I'm sorry, I got a little loud.
No, that's all right. And not only that, she doesn't not only not have her kids back, she will probably never see them again.
And they will never see her.
That's right.
They might if her mother takes them to see her.
Right.
Imagine how that's going to be for those children. To see their mother through glass window. And they may, you know, we don't know where she's going to end up. She may never be able to wrap her arms around her children again. Those children may never feel the warmth of their mother. Thanks, Kirk. Thanks, Gentry. Those children are going to be thanking you when they're 18 years old, saying, thank you so much for doing what you did for my mama. At least she had visits. Y'all made sure she didn't even get that.
Yeah, and I will make sure everybody understands there was a reason why she was only having visits. And that was what we were trying to show here, is there was a pattern. The courts didn't get this one wrong, people.
Breaks my heart to think what these children are going to have to go through because of a bunch of fools want to walk around like they got a big set of balls and they're all badasses. And all they do is destroy lives.
That's the sad part.
Huh?
I said that's the sad part.
It is. Guess who pays the ultimate price other than Hallett? These children.
Right.
And that's exactly what I said, all under the guise that they're saving the children or helping the children. They're doing nothing but hurting children. This is not a way to fix a problem. This is not a way to fix the system. People need to wake up. And with that said, I'm going to jump off, Maria.
Well, the only thing, I'm going to close with this, and I'm going to say the only thing I pray that comes out of this with Hallett's murder is that this ends up with a federal investigation going all the way across the United States, and every damn one of them is held accountable, and they go down. Hallett's death may end up being what saves all, the future parents of America, because hopefully all of them go down with him. But in prison. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming on. Is it Ronnie or Paul?
It's Ronald Paul Knowles.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Karen, thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to close this out for Randy tonight. And I want to thank everybody for listening. Pay attention to the Watchman page because I'll be uploading all of the information that we had that we didn't show tonight in order for you to see what we were talking about and why we were saying what we were saying. And you'll see that there's a lot more to it than just the little bit that we were able to show. And so with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and close it out for tonight. And again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen. If you have any questions, you know how to reach Randy. All right. Thank you, everyone.